Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. We have a slight change of plans tonight. Unfortunately, Tom's schedule got switched at the last minute, so he won't be able to join us, nor will Lucinda because they're together. So we're going to just talk about Island of the Stars, like where they're at and what we know so far. And then Tom did say that he would reschedule for a later date. It's just the schedule right now is so hectic with them trying to get the financing and everything. So I fully understand that.
They got Hollywood stuff to do.
Yeah. Big Hollywood stuff to do.
I mean, he communicated, I guess, specifically what it was. I don't know. I don't know about this hoity-toity stuff that they got going on, but
yeah, they're at the American Film Market in Santa Monica.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And their meetings and screening times got moved, so he has to bow out.
You got to expect this kind of stuff, right?
Things happen.
But you know what? Let's do what we would normally do anyway, and let's not keep the chat waiting.
Well, why don't I introduce my co-host first, because, you know.
He's not important.
You're important to me. Those of you who have been on my channel before or seen my content before know this guy sitting next to me. Let's see if I can get the thing right. You said it's always opposite, so I want to point that way.
There you go.
It's like you know him as that guy at the end of the bar, the love of my life, Troy Pacelli. How you doing, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
Salute. It's actually a tab, but I've got some cherry. What is it? It's hearing cherry liqueur and some of this grenadine because I got so darn much of it. But it's a great flavor. I really like it. It's kind of a thick, warm, kind of a feel going down. I like it.
Nice. I've got a Diet Dr. Pepper just because it's the first thing I grab.
For you, that's pretty high octane. So
yeah, it's like I'm a little frustrated.
Yeah.
My work sent me a new laptop because my old one is at the end of its useful life. That basically the warranty ran out, so they had to give me a new one, which is fine, except for I can't get into half my programs. I have to reset up everything, like all my there's certain tabs I have open every day, all day. I have to get all those back open again. There are certain programs that I'm missing. So I sent a note over IT for the things I found so far and just said, help?
Yeah.
I need to be able to get into this program. This is 90% of my job.
Yeah, well, let's face it, just about everyone here in the panel knows what it's like when your computer's not working or you're having some sort of technical difficulties. Thankfully, knock on wood, I've been kind of spared, but a lot of my coworkers are dealing with a bit of a computer problem. They have, because I deal in shipping and stuff like that, we try to keep somebody on call, in case something comes up after hours. But the problem is that the after hours system isn't working.
Oh, that's sucky.
And the person who was on after hours this week realized it because she wasn't getting emails. And she's like, okay, I understand having a slow night, but this is a little too slow. And she happened to receive an email from someone on our team about one of the emails. And she's like, I did not get that email. I am not getting emails. So today's meeting was just taken up with all that. And that's way more information I know than all of y'all need. But it's, sometimes to be able to share about someone else's problems that I'm not having, it's, I mean, I feel bad for them.
No. But, It's like yesterday, my supervisor, I guess she is now, asked me, she's like, can you get into SQL? And I started looking in there. I was like, well, I can do this and this. She goes, no, click on details for what we're looking up. And I was like, oh, yeah, I clicked on that and I get an error message. She goes, okay, so it's not just me. Turned out the system was down in one area and they had to fix that. And it's like, really? Fortunately, I wasn't having to use it, so I did not care. And I'm trying to see who I did not say hello to yet.
We haven't started going through the list yet.
I know, but I always drop my hi, sweeties.
Oh, you're dropping the hi, sweeties. Gotcha.
So I want to make sure I didn't miss my hi. Well, somebody might get a second one because the thing keeps jumping on me.
Consider yourself honored.
Yes, so you get two. Where's the other one? So I think one of you got two hi, sweeties. So you're special.
Yep.
But speaking of the chat,
yes,
let's say hello to the chat. Let me scroll all the way back up to the top. First up tonight was Big Al saying, hope you have a wonderful stream. I'll try to be there, but I'm fading. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Understood. He dropped a review. I didn't get to see what it was, and it is in my to watch later. I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay.
Definitely going to check that out.
Next up, we have Delia Sings. Hi, sweetie.
And he's in there dropping all the links and doing all the blue wrenching. He is awesome.
And there's that Netters Network person, that lady.
Kind of wouldn't have a show without her.
And, of course, the lovely Lady Myst with my pretty blue hearts and flowers. There's that last call guy.
Thank you. We're not done yet.
Oh, I know. I'm trying not to make my chat jump, so I missed somebody.
Happy Thursday.
Yes, we have Dante's Inferno. Oh, I'm sorry. Infernape? Is that how you pronounce it?
Infernape. I don't know.
Dante. We'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
I hate mispronouncing people's names.
Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies.
Yeah, I love that name.
Felicitations. Hip hip hurrah, tally ho.
And of course we have Evelyn Hampton.
Kabla.
There we go. Zombie Box Reviews. Hi, sweetie.
Welcome, welcome.
Geek Flag with Nate Knows.
Hey, Nate.
And let's see. See, my chat just jumped. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody.
Yeah, Nate's saying we got new POS at my work. And let's just say, to quote Scotty from Star Trek, The Search for Spock, the fancier they make the plumbing, the easier it is to gum up the pipes. Yeah. You're absolutely right about that. There's no doubt about that. I remember my grandfather used to work in an auto shop, and whenever he'd go to buy a new car, they'd try to get him to get the automatic windows and the this and the that and all the add-ons. He'd be like, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. The more of that, mechanical stuff you put on, the more there is that could possibly go wrong. I don't want it.
Excuse me.
But unfortunately, all the things back in my grandfather's days that were extras and add-ons are now the standard, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in a car that you cranked open the window?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I also want to say hi to Jesse Guajardo. How you doing,
Hey,
sweetie?
Jesse. Good to see you, buddy. And I think we're caught up, but I'll keep an eye out in case somebody else
So for those of you just joining, Tom and Lucinda, Lucinda, can't make it tonight. They are at a film festival, and their meetings got switched around to tonight. So he had to bow out, but I fully understand this is his funding that's, he's trying to get it and all this and getting more people interested. So this is his livelihood. So I fully understand that. So he's going to reschedule for another day.
Yeah, I mean, this is real time, people. This is so we know that we've gotten through the initial, the initial drive for the Indiegogo, right? And got his funding, at least the initial funding.
Well, let's see. I know it had gone up just a little bit last time I looked. So let's see.
Yeah. So right now, what we're looking at is
$69,266 at 210 backers.
Yeah, and that's about 1,000 over what his initial ask was. So that was enough for him to get going. But if you go to the Indiegogo and the Indiegogo ended like October 14th?
It's actually still going on. You could still
technically that's what I was getting at. It's still going on, even though the initial run is completed. You can still go in. You can see the options. There's still open
the
tiers
perks
and whatnot, the perks. And because if you go there and you check it out and you see the stretch goals, uh, the basic 66,000 was for the first tier, and that's just the basic stuff: legal costs, storyboarding, all the initial casting and auditions and all that kind of stuff. But their next stretch goal is at the 250,000 level, and that's when they start doing things like location shooting, key cast and crew contracts, and pay or play deals. So that's and the sooner they can secure those kinds of funds, the sooner they can start acting on that, the sooner they can get going on it. Their tier 3 stretch goals, that's 750,000, and that's where they're starting to get into who's the bigger talent they can start to secure.
including what their salaries are that they are proposing for the actors.
And again, every step of the way, there's what they want to secure from the grassroots, i.e., us, right? The people that will be wanting to see the film, right? The fans. Imagine that. Imagine making something for the fans with the assistance of the fans, the buy-in of the fans. I mean, yeah, that's something we talked about last time. But we'll certainly be getting him. We'll certainly be getting Tom back on again. We'll talk in more detail about that. But I just wanted to make sure that if we did nothing else today, I got that link back out to you. If you haven't had an opportunity, it doesn't mean you can't contribute. There's still that opportunity. And I think we've got some new names that we should shout out and say hi to. Did we say hi to Lawrence Knight earlier?
I did not. So let me put in my high speed. Did you drop the link, sweetie?
I did a couple times.
Oh, well, I'll have to find it so I can pin it because I don't see it.
That's okay. We've had a lot of people coming in, so I'll drop it.
No, I got it. I'm going to pin it to the top.
There you go.
Pin message.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. And for some reason, my system's being really slow.
And I thought we said hi to Zombie Box Review before, but in case we didn't either.
Hi.
And now I think we're caught up for sure. So yeah, and that's and in preparing for a stream like this, and in a way I'm kind of glad because I know you guys are gonna laugh at this, but when you have a guest on, any guest, right, especially someone like Tom and Lucinda and the bigger names, right, I get a little nervous. I gotta admit, So okay, the pressure's off now tonight. But one of the things I was going to bring up, and I'll ask him next time I have a chance to sit down with him on air. But I think, and I'd like to know what he thinks, because obviously he's in the industry. He would know better than I would. I think that there's a shift going on in the entertainment industry. That's just my opinion based on nothing, just my observation as an outsider looking in. But this past decade or so, we've gotten runaway budgets for zero payoff. I mean, look at Disney. They're losing money on every project they do. The streaming situation has been a boondoggle for everybody. There really is no winner in that regard. And we've been getting, I mean, there have been a couple of good movies, and we keep calling them out. But if we're really, really honest, even the best movies of the past 5 years or so have been, okay. It just seems like to a starving person, they seem so much better than they are because everything else has been such hot garbage, right? And if you look back at what our favorite films have been over the years, quite often they've been lower budget, independent things. I keep referring back to Star Wars, right? Star Wars started out as an independent project. George Lucas was nobody when he started that, and he got lucky and he got, some big backers. that didn't understand it at all, but were like, yeah, okay, I'll take a chance on you, kid. And it ended up being awesome. Well, I think this is going to be the same kind of thing where you have, uh, somebody not only doing an independent film, right, in Tom, right, but he's not doing it in Hollywood. He's doing it in Australia, right? And you've seen the faces, people that he's interested in talking to, and he's got the inroads. He's opened up dialogues with a lot of these people, and so you can imagine he could actually get some really big names just because they want to support the idea of movies being made in Australia. You know, so we could be seeing a really big shift in the entertainment industry, and Jesse Guajardo, yes, exactly like Action Force. Mm-hmm. Action Force is a great example of this is in the toy industry. For those of you that aren't really into toys, right? We had somebody in Bobby Valla who he was always a big GI Joe fan and kind of saw where Hasbro was kind of falling short, and he's like, you know what, I could do better. And he went out and he absolutely did. And it's not like he's trying to compete with GI Joe, but he's putting out figures in that scale, that 6-inch GI Joe scale, that you could collect your GI Joes, you could collect Action Force, you can put them together, and the fact is, when Hasbro doesn't put out the right accessories or doesn't have enough accessories or just falls short on the accessories, Action Force has great accessory packs, so just saying. But yes, and he further points out that a lot of franchises started out small, and that's just, look at Star Trek. Star Trek was almost canceled halfway through the second season, and it took a huge letter writing campaign. This was back in the '60s. This was before anything like fandoms as we understand them existed. Star Trek was the first fandom. So I'm asking people to, in their minds, go back in time, even if it's like before you were born. But imagine being a kid back in 76, 77, when Star Wars was coming out. Imagine if you had an opportunity to, for example, be a producer on it, and not like thousands of dollars, but like a couple $100. Just yeah, I'd like to have my name in the credits, And then today, Star Wars, seeing your name in the credits and going, yeah, I was part of those original movies, the good ones,
Absolutely.
So this is your opportunity to do that kind of a thing. Of course, it requires speculation. Star Wars, we have hindsight. We can look back, right? But Island of the Stars, you got to speculate and look forward and imagine, right?
And it's like, this is going to be a huge movie. It's going to be like Star Wars, where it's going to have that audience and that following. It's just one of those things where you kind of look at. I mean, just look at the what do you call it, the preview for it, and you can just tell this is going to be a blockbuster hit. Yeah, and we've talked about this before. You don't really need a lot of money to make a good film. Troy was saying before, we've seen some really phenomenal films that were low budget, but they were fantastic. Yeah. And they were better than some of these big budget movies.
Nate brings up a great point. He says Netflix is a big winner when it comes to streaming, and everybody knew that going into it. They have nothing on the line, or very little. They have very little on the line. The Netflix originals are the only thing that they're making. Everything else, all their other content is licensed from other companies. And I said, okay, I see what's happening. All these companies now want to start their own Netflix type service, right? and have their own proprietary, paywall for their own stuff. I said, unless they're huge, unless they have a huge library, it ain't going to work. And none of them had a big enough library, with one exception. That was Disney. But Disney did not put their entire library out there. Not only did they have their entire back catalog of films and shows, and think about talk about episodic TV. The Disney Channel has been around for decades now. Yeah. That could all be on Disney Plus, right? Every movie they've ever done could be on Disney Plus right now. Every Marvel film, every Star Wars film, multiple iterations of Star Wars films if they wanted, because they own it and they can, right? And now everything from the 20th Century Fox catalog could be on there.
Yeah. They've
done nothing with it. So they have no one to blame but themselves. But Netflix, they got licenses for days. You're right, Nate. They're doing just fine. The studios actually cut George Lucas's budget for the first Star Wars, and he had to take a pay cut, and negotiated that he would have sold ownership for the merchandise rights. Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's a couple of people. I think Sir Alec Guinness was one too. That they couldn't pay him as much as they wanted to, so he got a deal that involved a portion of the box office, and he ended up making more money on. Sir Alec Guinness made more money on Star Wars than anything else he'd ever done. That was good retirement money for him, let me tell you.
Yeah.
As I see it, Hollywood. This is Mr. Lundell. As I see it, Hollywood's biggest problem is it's being run by people who haven't a clue about making movies. That place was founded by people who understood entertainment. Now it's all lawyers, MBA types. Yeah, exactly right. It's run very corporate, and unfortunately, it's very stupidly reactionary, right? And we've seen it, right? We see it especially. I mean, pick your franchise. Marvel's a great one right now. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. And now I'm hearing a lot of the big channels like WDW Pro and Valiant Renegade and Midnight's Edge is saying this too. But I was saying it all along. I said that it was not Kevin Feige who created this Marvel empire. It was Jon Favreau. It was Jon Favreau who laid out the building blocks, from the first Iron Man movie and, forward. And when he left, Kevin Feige just coasted. He finished off the Avengers thing, and you already saw it cresting and beginning to go downhill by that last Avengers film. And then it's just been a big ball of crap ever since, right? Because he decided, to heck with what worked before. Let's look at the current comics now that aren't selling. He had no clue. He has no idea. And from what I hear, this girl that plays what's her name, Kamala Khan, the Miss Marvel. Apparently, she's a bigger fan than Kevin Feige. He doesn't have a clue, and she's trying to tell him about her character and about these other characters, and he doesn't know and he doesn't care. And that's the problem. People that are running things that have not a clue. All they know is reactionary. Oh, this worked before. Let's do more of that. Oh, this movie was successful. Let's make a clone of that. Yeah, that never works. It never works.
And if they would listen to the fans, they would know this is what's going to work. This is what's going to be, or this is what's going to make this a hit for you. Do this thing. Take that other stupid stuff out. Do this.
This is
and they don't listen.
This is the analogy I like to use. Those of you that saw Star Trek 3, right? It's this giant space probe coming to Earth, and it's trying to communicate, and its form of communication is causing all kinds of atmospheric problems is going to wipe out life on Earth if they can't communicate with them and say stop. And they finally figure out that this probe isn't trying to communicate with humans. They're trying to communicate with humpback whales underwater. And the problem is they can't communicate back because they don't understand the language of humpback whales. Someone makes the posit, well, couldn't we just play back recordings? Sure, we could play back recordings, but we'd be responding in gibberish. And that is exactly what I see people like Kevin Feige doing. Responding in gibberish, regurgitating, what he thinks worked before without understanding the language. And then telling the people that speak the language, that understand the language, that they should be communicating to, because that's what movies are, right? That's what entertainment is. It's a communication between the writers, directors, and creators and the audience. It's communication, right? We understand the language. If they don't, we're not going to bother showing up. They're speaking a language we don't understand. Evelyn said, I sent a letter to Paramount asking to keep Star Trek on the air. Oh, you're saying back originally, back in the 60s. Yeah, I remember you telling me that story. NBC did a live on-air announcement that the show would continue. Yeah. Yep. In fact, a lot of people don't realize this, but it was actually Lucille Ball who kind of believed in Star Trek. We wouldn't have Star Trek if it weren't for Lucille Ball. It was through her Desilu productions that Star Trek was made in the first place. Yes. Lawrence Knight brings up that he read that Disney is set to buy Hulu. I haven't heard an update on that in a while. And I'll be very interested to hear what happens. And to be honest with you, I don't expect to hear an update on that until after their earnings call this month. That's going to be interesting. If you're not subscribed to Valiant Renegade, I would do so because he will do live coverage of that earnings call. And it's going to be a 3-ring circus, I guarantee. But I don't believe that Disney has the capital right now, the liquid assets to purchase Hulu. But they have a legal agreement to do so. So they're really between a rock and a hard place. And there's a lot of moving parts here that none of them exist in a vacuum. The whole lawsuit going on in Florida directly impacts this. The numbers being down at the parks directly impacts this. Now I'm hearing that they are purposely bleeding the domestic parks dry to try and shore up Shanghai. That's a brilliant business move. I don't know. Nelson Peltz can't come fast enough, let me tell you. Not that I think he has, knowledge to save anything, but he's got the business acumen at least. So maybe he's intelligent enough to come along and say, you know what? Kevin Feige's not working out. Maybe we get somebody in there who understands this stuff. Who got us set up? Oh, that Favreau guy? Throw some money his way. See if he'll coach somebody or something. That's what I would do if I was him. Well,
that's just it. They don't have the right people in place. And they refuse to look back at people who were successful and go, we need those people here to help us with this thing. And so they're like, nah, we'll just wing it.
Yeah. Jesse's talking about some anime and Japanese entertainment that start out the same way. Mobile Gundam had a rough beginning, but thanks to Sunrise Studios and Bandai, it grew so big, becoming an icon in Japan right up there with Godzilla. Yeah. And Godzilla was kind of a low-budget thing, too, back in the day. Mr. Londell says Fox, Paramount, Warner, MGM, all have had large catalogs. You got dummies who don't understand what they have running, what they have running things. Yeah, exactly. There is, and it's such a simple thing. It's If you've taken Economics 101, very basic business, you know that here's an adage they use in retail all the time. If you have an empty shelf, you're losing money. Why? Because that shelf is worth something. And if there's nothing there, you can't generate money because no one's buying anything. And that's been the biggest problem over the past 4 or 5 years with the supply line problems that we've had, right? If you can't get the supplies into the store, you can't sell stuff, you can't get it out. Amazon has helped a little bit with that, but not really enough. And so all businesses suffer if the supply lines can't stock the shelves, if the shelves, don't have stuff up.
Right.
That's why, sometimes, if you don't see something on a shelf and you ask, yes, we have it in the back. We haven't had a chance to get it out. I'll get you. How much you need? I'll bring it out right now. Maybe the minimum wage kid doesn't give a crap, but the manager, he wants to get it out to you. So, just remember that when you go into a store. But the same thing is happening with, all these studios that have these back catalogs. If you got it sitting and not doing anything, you're not making any money off it. It's worth zero. Its potential is very high, but you're actually making zero. The way you make money on it is either get physical media out there so people are buying it, or you use it as a carrot to lure people to your, proprietary streaming service. It's not doing anything else, so at least it can give value to, and this is the thing. What is the value of a streaming service, right? Why is there churn in streaming services? You go and you subscribe to Disney Plus because you want to see the next season of The Mandalorian.
Right.
You watch the whole season of The Mandalorian. Okay, I'm done. Cancel for another year and a half, 2 years until The Mandalorian comes back, right? Because I'm not watching, anything else. But if you have a lot of good shows, if the Marvel shows had been good, okay, I just finished watching The Mandalorian. Maybe I'll check out She-Hulk. Maybe I'll check out, The Eternals and the this and the that. And those were, if they were good, you would do that. And then as long as you're there, you start scrolling through and you see, these old movies that you haven't seen in years. One of our dinosaurs is missing. Anyone remember that one? The Apple Dumpling Gang. How about that one? Remember that?
Oh, gosh. That's a blast from the past.
I was a teenage computer, right? The Shaggy Dog.
Yeah, that's back when Disney actually did fun movies,
Yeah.
good movies, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. I did a rewatch on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like...
That gives value to your... Yeah. And then whatever you're spending a month, you look at it and you go, well, I spent, I don't know, $20 this month, right? Well, that's what I would have spent on cable. And, that's the price of a DVD. But for $20, I got to rent every possible film from Disney that I could watch. That's value for your dollar, right? No, they're not giving you that value. They're giving you less and less and charging you more and more. And people go, it's not worth it. Kind of like living in Illinois. Taxes keep going up. Crime rate goes up too. Businesses are leaving. Well, why do I want to stay here? You're not giving me anything for those higher tax dollars. So people leave. Now they have less tax revenue because they have less people to bill, right, to tax. So they raise the taxes more people leave. Right. The same thing happens when you price yourself out of a market. It's economy 101, guys. No, there is a partial partnership between Hulu and Disney stands to buy them outright. They have not done that yet. Oh, Jesse, no. Disney can't afford to open up more parks. Their parks are dying as they are. They cannot keep their parks up. There's a lot of YouTube channels talking about how run down many of their parks are. And they're spending all their money Well, first they lost a bunch of money on that Star Cruiser thing that flopped, and that cost them billions. And then they're spending all their money to rework Splash Mountain because Song of the South bad or something like that. And meanwhile, there's a bunch of really great rides that are really, really dangerous because the maintenance hasn't been kept up and things keep breaking down. So people aren't going to Disney anymore. You know where they're going? Universal. Universal's packed.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we even saw that in the different movies that came out. Universal had these great movies coming out. Disney, not so much.
Yeah, Mr. Londell actually is getting into the weeds on this one, but it's a good point. If they were smart, all of them would have something akin to Pluto for all the classic stuff and a paywall for their newer stuff. That makes perfect sense, right? Where you get commercials, but it's free, for all this stuff that's not making them any money anyway. So at least they're making commercial dollars, right? It's just passive money that's just coming in. And then, yeah, you want the first run release movies. Okay, you pay the premium price and you got, everything that came out in the past couple of years, all those Marvel films, you got it, Good point. That's an excellent point. See, it doesn't take a lot of brains, just a little common sense. And that's what these people just don't have. Welcome, Samuel Proctor. I don't think we said hi to you earlier. I would even go back to Mando. The writing wouldn't even go back to... Yeah, I know. I was just trying to think of the best thing they had. And the first 2 seasons of Mando was okay, so that was the first thing I could think of, But I get you. Season 3 was just terrible, It just was. And I'm sorry. I tried to like the Book of Boba Fett. You got to really wear rose-colored glasses to
I don't know. I
like
kind of liked him riding the Rancor and helping save the day.
Yeah, I mean, there were some good elements, but, there was a lot of crap in there that didn't need to be there that kind of ruined it. And again, I've said this about all their shows. They stretch them out. They should just make movies. There's only enough story there for a good 2-hour movie.
That's true.
There's a guy on a YouTube, excuse me, he's a fan editor who took the entire season of Obi-Wan Kenobi and edited it down into a 2.5-hour film. And it's way more watchable, and now he's doing the same thing for Ahsoka. And I'm like, geez, if you just take out the long pauses and walking the hallway, you can get it down to 2 hours. For crying out loud. But the problem with the back catalog, the studios don't know what to do with it. And they keep hiring people who don't know either. Well, again, it's just this. If you don't know what to do with it, it doesn't matter. How do you make money on it? We have something. It's making us no money. We put it on our streaming service. It adds value. Maybe we get more subscribers. At least you have that happening. That's the bare minimum, Troy, the only value in streaming service was to cut the middleman, aka Blockbuster. Well, and see, therein is the other problem, because you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. I said the same thing when they were during the COOF. They were bypassing the cinemas and releasing stuff on their pay service. And saying you want to see this new Marvel film, you got to subscribe to us because this is where you're going to see it, and it better be damn good to get people and keep them, and they haven't. And again, it's what I said. It's how can I make more money on this product? I make a movie, right, and I spend, $100 million to make this movie. Let's face it, Disney's spending way more than $100 million, but let's say you spend $100 million,
losing
right?
it.
Yeah. The first thing you want to do is release it in theaters and get $200 million, right? So you at least break even, right? If you do really well, you make $500 million, $1 billion. Okay, now we've made a profit. Now we go on to the next thing, but we keep making money on that. We sell the toys, we continue to market it, we put it out on DVD and Blu-ray and HD. In fact, you stagger them. You put it out on Blu-ray immediately, right? As soon as it leaves the theater. And then about 6 months later, you put it out on Blu-ray, right? And then 6 months after that, you put out an HD special edition of it with behind the scenes and all that kind of crap, right? So maybe people buy multiple copies of it. There you go, right? Meanwhile, you put it on your streaming service and get people, going to your streaming service to watch it. It adds value to that streaming service. And then a year out, you put it on network television and you get commercial dollars, right? And then after that, you go to Netflix and say, you want to license it? Maybe you carry it for a little while. And you make more money on it. And then when they're done, you take it back and you put it on your own streaming service again. You double dip, you triple dip, you quadruple dip. That's capitalism. That's making money. And you're meeting the needs and the desires of your audience, because then they can consume it the way they want to.
Exactly.
And in multiple ways. Sometimes you will have people see it at the theater, buy the DVD, buy the Blu-ray, buy the HD, buy the costume to go to the convention, buy the toys, and then subscribe and watch it whenever they feel like on TV, because they actually don't want to take the DVD out of the plastic wrap. I kid you not. So anytime they try to cut anybody out, they're cutting off their nose to spite their face.
Speaking of DVDs, there are 3 of you that I owe DVDs to. I've been sick. I'm trying to get to them this weekend so I can get those sent out Monday. So that's my goal.
Yep. Lawrence Knight said run down parks equals unsafe rides. That's exactly, that was my point if I didn't make it clear. Universal Studios is opening up a new park in Texas. They can justify that. That's absolutely right. Galaxy's Edge grossly underperformed, and the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel lost them over $1 billion. That was just a clusterfuck. That was, anybody who looks at that knows it was stupid. The biggest problem is Galaxy. If you look at it where it is in the park, Galaxy's Edge is here, and the Star Cruiser way over there. You got to friggin' take a tram to get there. If they were smart, they'd have figured it out how to put the two together, right? Yes, I understand that you want Galactic Star Cruiser to be a premium thing. You can't just go into Galaxy's Edge and just be a part of the Star Cruise, but you should be able to get there directly from Galaxy's Edge. You go into Galaxy's Edge, you go there to spend your day doing the Star Wars thing, and then maybe you go and you say, I'd like to take a ride on the Star Cruise, and you spend the night there or whatever, Yeah.
Oh, you mean their other disaster? Let's have a cruise ship that's not really a cruise ship, and it's going to cost you, was it $6,000, $5,000 a night?
They went in with the expectation that they could treat it like an actual cruise, and that initially that's not a bad idea. They just did not follow through on it. They should have actually had people from the cruise lines come in and run this thing, and they did not do that.
Well, the other thing is, there was somebody who actually did the whole thing, and they said that there was so much wrong. They were, weren't they like intermixing characters, like ones that were from the original trilogy?
They were pushing it originally to be the sequel trilogy, and they kept pushing it, even though nobody gave a flying fig about the Rey and
right. Plus the activities weren't all that, and then there were ones that you were forced to do.
The activities.
At one point, she said that your door, like if you were in your room, your door would just open, and they were forcing you to come out and participate to this thing. It's like, okay, what if you're standing there naked?
Yeah, you're in the middle of changing or something. Yeah, it was very poorly conceived, and they kept resisting the whole idea to rejigger it and make it the classic Star Wars. And That's what people wanted, and that ain't what they got. And if you don't give people what they want, you're not going to make money. It's really just that simple. Kids, I don't see any goats. Yeah, exactly. Hey, sweet peoples. Hi, Maria. How you doing? It's good to see you. Glad you could stop by and say hi to us. And Darth Plato. Hi there. Hi there. Let's see.
I'm dropping my hi, sweeties, in the chat because that's what I do.
Oh, Jesse, you're from your keyboard to the god of physical media's eyes. He says, Troy, I think it's possible for Blockbuster to make a comeback, but not as a rental store, similar to the second and Charles, where you could buy movies, figures, and comics. Yeah. I saw that. Netflix is looking to open physical stores. I don't even know what that's about yet. My speculation was that maybe they were going to be selling the previously viewed DVDs that they had from their mail-in service that they just ended in September.
Maybe.
Kind of the way Blockbuster stores used to sell the overstock of...
They'd have to get rid of all the ones that never worked or were cracked and stuff first.
Exactly.
And Mr. Langel's Groovy Movie said they should have just converted one of their existing cruise ships into a funky-looking spaceship. Yeah, that would have worked.
That's actually a brilliant idea, too.
And they would have spent a heck of a lot less money trying to do that, and it might have actually worked.
Yeah. Yep. So, we are about 10 minutes out from ending the show. I want to ask Deleted Scenes if you would change, and I appreciate you dropping everyone's links, saying hi to everyone that just stopped in. One Left Standing, Blockbuster. Yeah. Blockbuster has been a holdout. I understand some of those Blockbusters ended up being privately owned, so some of them just continued. But Deleted Scenes, if you would maybe start planning to drop the links for your upcoming streams, because let's face it, you're the majority of the streams coming up over the weekend.
So to get back to tonight's topic, the campaign for Island of the Stars is still going on. You could still go to the
link,
the Indiegogo,
the link top of the chat.
Yeah,
there.
And there is a cheer for everyone. There's a cheer for $4. There's one for $9. That's like, come on, isn't it like a Starbucks cup of coffee? If you could buy a cup of coffee, you can get this cheer, or get both. Why not? Yep. Have fun.
Yeah. Think about all the money you haven't spent going to see Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, there you go. And it's like there are so many wonderful cheers out there and so many perks with these cheers. Troy and I got 4. Yeah, I think we got 4 different cheers. And it's because there's like one tier would have most of what you want, but then there's another tier that had like one item that Troy really wanted, so we got that one. And, so you just look at everything that's available, and it's like, well, I like this one and I like this one, so I'm going to get both. In our case, we got 4.
Yeah. Nate makes a great idea here. And Maria, you know some people that know Seth. Maybe you can get this idea over to him. Seth MacFarlane should do an actual Orville cruise where all the windows are actually 4K screens. So when you look out the window, you see space. And look, you do something like that, and you basically do like those Trek cruises, a convention on water,
Absolutely. Now that would be fun.
Absolutely.
Doing an Orville cruise, I'd go for that.
Absolutely.
I would totally go for that.
And a lot of people have said Orville is basically Star Trek without Trek. It's what Trek was supposed to be before it went all JJ. But so looking forward to the weekend. Very, very looking forward to the weekend.
What's going on tomorrow night on Friday Night Last Call?
Well, it's been a brutal week, so I'm definitely going to be drinking. Probably going to be a brown mumbler weekend, folks. So if you like to see Troy tie one on, tomorrow night's the night to
he's going to be mumbling, apparently.
My goal is to be mumbling by the end of the stream, but it's going to be a Friday night free-for-all. I don't have a specific topic, but there has been some of these topics that we talked about tonight. I'm going to focus in on some of the Disney stuff. I will be talking about a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about where I see the channel going. Hopefully get some thoughts and input from all of you all. Look forward to the new year. Some of the things I'm thinking about, throw them out to you guys, get your feedback. And kind of pivot into the holiday season, because that's basically what we're doing. So that is tomorrow night.
And then on Saturday, as I just pulled up on the screen.
Perfect. Look at that. Deleted Scenes dropping the link. So Films with Friends. As a matter of fact, I got it right here. Yours, mine, and ours. I will be streaming this on Cosme in case you don't have your own copy. But we will be watching it together on Big Al Presents tomorrow, Saturday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
Okay, let's see.
And then Deleted Scenes has a whole bunch of stuff going on Sunday.
Well, I see Lady Myst dropped something here about weekend update.
Weekend update. That's when is that? November. That was today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go back and watch that, because
go check. Or is that coming up in a little bit? Either way. Yeah. Well, click on it. Right click on it and see. Here, where is it?
You click. I'll end up somewhere else. I'm having enough computer problems. I'll probably kick us both out of the stream.
Well, maybe.
One could hope.
I mean, it'll make things interesting. Yes. This is unscripted. Unscripted is in 2 days at what time is that? That's 7 Central, 8 Eastern on Sunday, followed by Geeky Geezers, which, of course, the stream is not up yet because we haven't finalized it yet. We're still collecting the notes.
And
then later that night, The Other Side of Midnight, with special guest Jedi Bill. That is at midnight Eastern Time, 11:05-ish Central Time. And that is the weekend as far as I know.
Let's see. And then November 6th, it looks like Deleted Scenes is having a live movie review mystery movie night at the Regal.
Is that on that thing that you do on Tuesday nights where you go to the theater and you don't know when you get, until you get there what it is you're watching?
That'd be kind of interesting.
It's like cinema roulette. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like we used to go to a karaoke bar where every once in a while they would have karaoke roulette. So it's like, you put your name in and they're like, okay, we're just going to pick a song for you. And hopefully you knew it. If not, you kind of fumbled your way through. But it was just a lot of fun.
Yep.
Oh, Deleted Scenes, that's Mondays.
Oh, Monday. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Then on Tuesday, don't we have another Twin Peaks night?
Yep. Tuesday night. Oh, yeah, that's right. You probably even already have the stream up. So Tuesday night, live from Sparkwood and 21. That'd be episode 3 of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, make sure you get yourself a damn good fine cup of coffee and some cherry pie.
Yeah, we'll get some donuts this time around, and we'll do that rewatch and the deep dive on the next episode.
Yeah, and then Wednesday, is there anything besides game night for you?
Well, here's hoping. So you guys don't know my attorney, so I guess it's okay. My attorney is running the game right now, and we get an email middle of the day Wednesday. He says, yeah, we're gaming tonight, but I might be about an hour late because my client died. And we're like, oh, and you're going to be an hour late. Okay, if you say so.
It's like
Then a little bit later, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. I just found out my client died today, and I can't get a death certificate for him because the family just told me, and I haven't been able to find out what day he died on, and you need that in order to get the death certificate, and I got to be in court tomorrow. I'm like, yeah,
okay.
I'm not surprised. I was waiting for that shoe to drop, you know? My client died. I might be a little late.
But does that mean he's won the case or lost it?
He lost his client. I don't know about the case. Holy crap, guys.
And then, of course, back here next week on Thursday Things, my special guest will be Deleted Scenes.
There we go. Deleted Scenes back here. Get a little update on what his channel's been doing since the last time we talked to him. He's added a couple shows since.
Yeah, he has. He's been busy.
One of the hardest working guys in YouTube. And I'll tell you, that's what it takes. It really requires a lot of work to do these YouTube shows. It's a lot more work than you probably think.
I mean, I have the movie stream every other Saturday, and I have Thursday Things, and that can be a handful. And the Saturday one's it's not even every week for me personally on my channel, but I am still doing the movie rewatches every Saturday between me and Big Al. So that, and then Thursday Things, I've got 2 shows going on right there. So, that's kind of busy. Deleted Scenes got what 10, 12, 20?
Yeah, exactly right.
Super busy. Want to know what else has been going on, what direction he's bringing his channel into, just updating us on everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, you all know Deleted Scene, and you also know that he's trying to hit a milestone.
Yep.
So check to make sure that you are subscribed to everybody in the chat. If you think you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed, because I had lost a sub and I don't know who it was. So one of y'all got unsubscribed me from YouTube. So I'd like to get that sub back if you wouldn't mind.
I've been unsubscribed to channels that I've been subscribed to for over a year, and I watch on a regular basis. So it's not even like, oh, I'm not watching them, I didn't even notice. It's like I'm seeing their videos coming up and I'm not being alerted. I go to see if I got to hit that notification bell, and I'm unsubscribed. It makes me so mad. Yeah, Maria cut down on her live streams. It's way too hard. Yeah, it's a lot, right? Yeah, especially when there's editing involved and intros and.
I know, it's like I have so many things I filmed that I need to edit, and it's just like, I mean, they're filmed. I just need to edit them. I haven't had time. Between work and running around and things, I haven't had time to edit. So I'm trying.
Maria says, I did a very, very nerdy tech video that's only less than 5 minutes, and it's taken me 3 hours. Well,
I know what that's like.
It's like I said, I've been saying over and over again, this video that Retro Blasting did, deep dive on Indy 5. It's a 4-hour video. It took them 3 months, and it's not getting near the views that it really really
drop
needs. The
link for that so people can check it out.
Yeah, I'll do that while you talk.
I was actually putting on some chapstick, but okay. So yes, please make sure that you are subscribed to everyone in the chat, and that you're still subbed. If you had subbed previously, make sure you're subbed to me and Troy, because we appreciate y'all. It's like PJ always says, together we grow. And that's why I do Thursday Things. It's like, I may be small right now, but I've noticed that every time I have a guest on, they end up getting a couple of subs. And every little bit helps.
That's how it goes. I just dropped that link. Please, 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 please go. You don't have to watch it right now, but go to it. Save it for later.
And you don't have to watch all 4 hours
at once. You can watch it in
parts,
has it in chapters. It's chaptered out. You can watch a chapter a day.
It's really interesting, and it's
actually more entertaining than the movie. Yeah. definitely worth it. So
I mean, Michael French knows what he's talking about when it comes to Indiana Jones. He probably knows
speaking of
more about
Michael
Indiana
French,
Jones than the people who did it.
speaking of Michael French, in 2
Yes.
weeks, Retro Blasting will be joining us on Last Call once again, as we have our annual rewatch of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah.
This time, the Thank the Maker cut 2.0. I haven't even seen this particular edit of it.
2.0.
Well, I've really enjoyed the original Thank the Maker cut, so
Is this let's see, the Thank the Maker one, is that the one where they changed the Wookiee porn so it wasn't quite so obvious?
Sort of, yes. Ironically, one of the scenes that was dropped into the original Thank the Maker edit was actually taken from a Star Wars adult video. Pretty, not like, the hardcore part, just the in between setups, just some people dancing in a club and stuff. And I mean, it gets a little steamy, two girls dancing together, but nothing, more than PG-13. And it was actually really good. And it made me realize that sometimes the adult entertainment industry is putting out stuff that looks more like Star Wars than the people doing Star Wars now.
Since I've seen it, he brings up details I didn't notice. Cool.
Oh, the Retro Blasting.
Oh, right, yeah. Retro Blasting.
Absolutely. Oh, he gets real into
We were talking about Holiday Special. I'm like,
into the weeds. This is one bit where he talks about Indy, being this, Jake Skywalker-ish type character, living alone in his apartment. He's got a picture of Marion up on his refrigerator, and it's actually a picture of Karen Allen. That was a promotional shot from when they were doing Raiders of the Lost Ark in Tunisia. And he's like, when was this picture taken? Did one of the sword guys, before he attacked them, take a portrait of him or something? I mean, it's actually really, really funny.
Just like Guajardo said, I think I rewatched Indiana Jones 5 review from Retro Blasting like 5 times already. So now change IDs and watch it again.
No, you don't even have to do that. What I've done is I've set it to play overnight and gone to bed.
Oh, there you go. And I want to say a quick hello to JPRPH1. How you doing, sweetie? We're actually wrapping up.
Yeah.
But you can catch us on the rewatch. So after this ends, go back and watch. But I also want to thank everybody who has been praying for me and my health. You can hear my voice.
She's got some voice now.
Yeah, I have voice right now. It went out earlier. Like, I started out this morning with voice. Then midday, lost voice. Now came back to voice.
And she made it through the stream.
Yeah, I made it through the stream with a voice. And it's funny because I started off the stream, or like just before the stream, with sort of mousy, sort of gravelly, and then it came back to normal. So I even told my boss, it's like, I will lose my voice in the middle of a sentence and then it'll come back by the end of the sentence. It's happened.
Yep.
It's weird. So hopefully I have one more scan on Saturday where they're going to make sure that like my gallbladder and all that stuff is good. And then I have to see an ENT for my throat and stuff to see if there's any issues with my thyroid, because they're concerned they found some little 1 millimeter size something on there, and they want to check that out, make sure that's all good. And so hopefully I get fixed, because I would like to be fixed. I hate being broken.
Yeah.
So thank you all for your prayers so very much. If you want to continue to pray, just pray that this thing like ends and I'm not sick at all anymore. So, I mean, I've gotten so much better though. It's like over the last, let's say, week and a half or so, I've improved like 95% from what I had been. So, definitely, your prayers, well wishes, and all that are working. Thank you so very much for that. Troy, anything else to add before we end the stream?
If you're following Gina Carano on X, formerly known as Twitter, you might want to go check out her last tweet. She She's responding to the Bounding into Comics bit on the HBO and Max executive who created a troll account to target critics. She's got a long little diatribe here about it. You might want to check it out. And I think Gina's going to be having a lot of other interesting truth bombs coming in the days and weeks ahead.
So that's one of the things I like about Gina Carano is that she's not afraid to speak her mind. So many people are like, oh, I have to walk on eggshells because of the snowflakes. It's like, no.
It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't give an F about what people think. Thank you to Deleted Scenes for sharing that with me. And we'll probably be talking about it on Sunday on Geeky Geezers. But no, that was the last thing I had to say.
And Maria says that she's glad that I'm doing better and she's going to be using You and Me later this month. Ooh.
Yep.
Well, with all that said, y'all know how I always end my streams. Mm-hmm. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun. But it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, your questions, your trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you aren't just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now, and you choose to be here, and that's so super encouraging. You know, the support is so incredible from everybody in our YouTube family. You know, we're always building each other up, being there for one another, and it's so appreciated. So thank you all so very much for that. Again, thank you all for being here. We love you guys, and we will definitely